Alright. Welcome to Every Film in the Book. This week we're doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022, just released on Netflix. Yeah, I fucking hate this movie. Okay, no, I'll be the first to admit I've never been the biggest fan of the Texas Chainsaw franchise. I've only seen basically the remakes and all that shit. I think we sat and watched what was it, Leatherface, I think was the most recent one. And I don't know, I just can't get into them.
Okay, I will say, there's a little bit of a special place in my heart for Texas Chainsaw Massacre for a really dumb reason, and I'll tell you why. I had surgery a few years ago, and when I was in the hospital and I was on morphine and there was nothing on TV, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of all movies, I don't know which one of them was playing on TV, and I just remember watching, I don't know if it was a couple movies in a row or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a little drugged up, and I was really into it. And so since then, I kind of like those movies.
I feel like that's what you need to be to
drugged
enjoy
up?
These movies. Because, they're so all over the place. There's, the kills are one thing. At least in this one, they were, super gory. They actually did them pretty well. But, it's they have this level of grit to them where I'm just the whole movie just looks gross. It looks like they dipped the film in
everything
grease.
was dirty.
Yeah, in the original you're talking about.
Yeah. And I get that's kind of what they were going for, at least with the original one. It was supposed to be this gritty, almost found footage without being found footage. Mm-hmm. And then it seems like with this one they kind of missed the point of what makes that original one unsettling and freaky. It's they glitzed and glamored it too much.
Well, and I haven't seen all of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, but I assume it kind of starts to go in that direction where they just take Leatherface and let him be his own thing.
Yeah, there's an Illuminati conspiracy in one of them. I think that's the next. It's Texas Chainsaw the Next Generation.
There's some good stuff in the Texas Chainsaw series.
Right, but the first one, the reason why it had such an impact of whoa, this is really creepy, is not only the fact that it's in the middle of nowhere and everything feels dirty and gross and people are just all sketchy. It's the family that's involved in murder. That's what makes that movie creepy, because you don't think a family would do that. You're there's children, what did you say the line was? Yeah, the grandpa.
Yeah, no, because they have the basically dead grandpa in the chair, and they're give the hammer to grandpa, he's the best at killing.
It's just, that's what makes that movie creepy, not Leatherface. He's a part of it, and he's a killer, but they make it totally different than the original for sure.
Well, his family used to keep people in the house. I feel like all the victims were a lot more spread out than normal. There was a lot of chasing going on, and not just in the yard around the house.
Didn't they take the one girl inside and sit her at the dinner table and
the whole ending of the movie is her at that dinner table with the family just driving her insane.
Yep.
And then that's what makes that ending so impactful when she runs out and gets picked up by the truck.
Yeah, it's
and,
mental torture.
Yeah, and she's crying. Losing her mind in the back of that thing. Right.
Yeah, so it's less of a slasher per se and more of a fuck with your mind kind of horror movie.
They're definitely more I don't know, I keep just going back to gross. They're fucking gross.
Oh jeez.
Oh my god, but this one
I will say, if you compare it to modern horror movies, horror movies that came out in the last 5 years,
right,
it had pretty good kills.
Well, yeah, no, the kills I enjoyed,
I think it was
Just
like
seeing
50-50.
Like seeing that cop's leg get bent backwards, like that, or no, not the cop, the mechanic.
The
His
mechanic,
leg
yeah.
gets bent
They had a
backwards.
few good ones like that, and then they had a few that like weren't that good, like normal. Like, it was
Right.
like a 50-50 split. But some of the ones were really good.
And like I get, in slasher movies, you're not really supposed to like the characters. You're supposed to want them to get killed. But like, I think this cast of characters in particular, I wanted them dead. Like, all the people who needed a good chainsawing is the people who, when a crazed maniac gets into your bus, you go, oh, dude, try anything and you'll get canceled.
Right.
Like, you're going to get a chainsaw to you. Like, there's no stopping that.
Well, the extras. Too. Yeah, the extras, you always just want them to get all chopped up at once, which did happen, which I will say.
Yeah, that
was
the
bus
cool.
scene.
That was
that
cool.
bus scene was probably I think the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, so I did keep track. I think there were about 21 kills. That's what I counted. But
is that like everybody on the bus? Cause
I tried to count the bus. I think there were about a dozen people on the bus besides our main characters.
Right.
So I counted them as all being dead because nobody survived.
No.
But yeah, I think it was about 21 kills and like 3, 4, 5, maybe 7, 8 of them I think were like main characters.
Yeah, well, I mean, all
like
of them...
there weren't that many like just main characters. Most of them were just extras that got chopped up all at once.
It's all those Gen Zers trying to buy an old Texas town.
Right.
Yeah. So the whole thing, they set up the whole movie for like half of it, like 40 minutes. The movie's only an hour and 15, right?
Well, yeah. Like,
Something
by the
like
time
that?
the credits hit, it's like an hour and 15 minutes long.
Yeah, short movie. So the whole thing is this group of children, young adults, I'm not really sure. Like, they look younger than me, and I'm 25.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
You can't get a read on these people.
Yeah, they kind of look like they're in middle school. They kind of look like maybe they just graduated high school. But in the middle of a desert, I don't think they really specified where. I don't know where the original... I mean, it's somewhere in Texas. What did they say?
It's just some like back road in Texas, but this movie takes place in Harlem.
Right.
Hey,
our cat's going crazy. So the whole thing is that they're going into this abandoned town to try to revive it, basically. And there's a group of young kids that are, I guess, buying all the properties. I don't know where they're getting this money from. I don't know who sold this town to a bunch of 18-year-olds. But, yeah, their whole plan is to basically start a cult.
To start a cult.
Yeah, well, that's what the one guy says to them, like, oh, you're starting a cult? And they're like, no, we were just starting a new community of open-minded people with similar ideas. It's like, yeah, that's a cult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Charles Manson would have moved in with them, but you know, he knows a thing or two about cults.
So, yeah, that's their whole thing. And then the one house just happens to be the house where Leatherface and his mama live. And, yeah.
Yeah, shit just goes crazy from there.
Yeah, that's basically the whole setup, and that took 40 minutes.
Yeah, and then there's like some subplot about a deed to a house that...
Well, yeah, that's the reason they have to go back in.
Right, and then that's...
Yeah, I know,
because
but
they're
like,
looking for it. Well, like, if
I
they
feel like
had
you could have
the
made
deed-
this movie like an hour long. We could have left
another
out the
15
deed
minutes.
subplot.
the deed. It was necessary. They had to show proof of the home, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, when it comes to, you know, killing people with a chainsaw, I don't think you need a deed to a house to make that start happening.
Okay, but I will say again, I don't think you need to have a great plot in a slasher film because it's about the kills. Like, name a slasher film that you love from, like, the frickin' 70s or 80s that just has a terrible plot, but you love the movie.
I mean, you just named every Jason movie
Exactly. And you love Jason. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's
we're not saying we needed the plot to be better.
Yeah,
we just
no.
didn't like the plot. It was like a bunch of hipsters
like
buy
if
a
I'm
town
gonna
in
sit
Texas
and watch the
that
movie.
houses Leatherface.
I know.
Like,
I'm
how
just
unlucky.
saying, like, I wouldn't put that against the movie, but okay, go on. What else did you hate about the movie?
Well, no, like if if I'm gonna sit and watch the movie, like, I at least either want to care about the characters, care about the plot, or
care about the killer.
Or, yeah, like, I like Jason. He's cool. Leatherface is just, like, especially in this, they basically just made him Jason.
Yeah,
like,
they made him big.
He's
goof.
setting up booby traps. He's getting shot, like, 7 times.
The booby trap thing was odd, because it's like,
weird.
like, normally that's the end of a hallway, is the booby
Yeah.
trap. Oh, you're at the end of the hallway. That's the booby trap, not an actual booby trap.
This guy is setting up, like, a mannequin, and he puts the chainsaw at his feet, and he's like, yeah, somebody's gonna fall for this.
Yeah. And then
And he jumps through the window. Like, how did he get outside after setting that booby trap up? She was following him, too, into this room, and then he comes jumping through the
real quick
window.
about it. He was real quick about it.
But, like, that's the thing. Like, he was never, like, a smart killer. He was just kind of, like...
He was always just
he was
there.
thrown into a situation and he starts killing because
and
it's almost like the wounded animal type thing.
In the other films, nobody that got out of the house ever made it past 6 rows of corn. You know what I mean? It's like
everybody dies.
Most of them died before they got to the shed.
Yeah, no, he's not like the Michael Myers where he's like cold and calculating and like, you know, he's like setting bodies up and he's hiding in corners and stuff. Like Leatherface is loud and he's bombastic and he's running through hallways and he's got a fucking chainsaw. How are you quiet and sneaky with a chainsaw?
Yeah, you can't be.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
but yeah, whatever. Go on, Steve.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep raining on.
Okay, well then, can I talk about some of these awesome kills?
Yeah, well, I mean that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, so the first one, honestly, kind of my favorite. They were in the ambulance to get to the hospital because this was early on in the movie. First kill. It's 2 cops. One's in the back, one's in the front. The one blonde girl who came with the group of everybody, and the mom who's dying of a heart attack, and also Leatherface is in the back of the van. So you know this is gonna end well.
Yeah, we should probably say that whole deed subplot is the whole reason this movie gets like started in the whole killing.
Yeah.
Like they they show up at this abandoned town. They go into this orphanage to just because they think they have free roam of the town. So they get in there and they're exploring, and this old lady shows up and they tell her, you can't be here. The bank bought up all this property, like, you're supposed to be out. And she's saying she has the title, and, Leatherface pops up and she's like, oh, he's my special boy. He just needs the care and love of a child.
Yeah. So then she ends up having a heart attack, we assume, or she starts having a stroke or something.
I don't know if a heart attack makes you throw up, but she throws up.
She chucked.
I think there's a demon coming out of her or something. And
an interesting thing is the cops that show up to take the mom to the hospital, they know about Leatherface.
Yeah.
Right.
And
because don't they say
they
like
stopped
that's his
them before
boy?
they got to town.
Right.
And they were like, oh, well, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to town.
Yeah.
And then, they're on decent terms with Leatherface, but they didn't say anything to the people that just bought the town.
Right.
So it's kind of like,
yeah, and then they're like,
they
oh,
use that to get him out of there?
You didn't leave? Oh, no, we didn't know that.
Like, oh, shit. We totally didn't tell you could stay here because fuck Gen Z.
Oh, but yeah, the cops probably knew. That
oh, yeah. And in the other films, the town normally knows.
Right.
It just doesn't go on their property.
Yeah,
and
you stay away
fine.
from this house and you'll be okay. But yeah, so they take the mom away in the ambulance with the cops, and then that's what gets to your first kill.
My favorite kill. So the mom dies in Leatherfuck's arms.
Yeah.
Stupid. This movie's anyway. Keep going.
She dies in his arms, and of course he freaks the fuck out. So the cop, I think, puts his hand on his shoulder
he was
or something.
shaking.
Yeah, he's rocking the oxygen.
Oh yeah,
tank.
Breathe, and she's fucking dead, and he's like, dude, stop shaking the oxygen tank, and he takes the cop's arm, breaks it bone sticking out of his arm broken, stabs him in the neck with his own bone.
Yeah, no, and he's like ramming him.
Yeah.
He hammered him a few times.
Oh my god, that was the first time I was like, ooh, you know, like that was the first.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the first kill, but
dude,
that's pretty good.
That cop
was a good one,
fucked up
the first
everything
one. Yeah.
because he ends up shooting the driver.
Yeah,
and then they crash the car.
I mean, he
Yes.
kind of got hammered, so you can kind of understand his lack of accuracy.
Yes.
But at the same time, don't shoot the guy in the face driving.
Michael, so you're telling me cops don't have training
Come
when
on,
their
bro.
arm is shattered in half and they're being stabbed with
Nope.
it? They're not
They're
prepared for
stabbed
that?
with their
Most
own
people
neck.
shoot their gun into the ground immediately when they pull it out anyway. So
shoot themselves in the foot.
As soon as you pull out, freeze! Oh, God, my foot!
yep, it happens all the time.
All
Every
right,
day in
so
America.
so that's our first 2 kills, like fucking 40 minutes in. I don't know. I don't count the mom as a kill because she just kind of died of natural causes.
Yeah, but I mean, he still takes her face.
Yes.
So that's kind of like almost a kill.
Yeah, so that happens next.
Yeah, so now he's wearing his mom's face.
Yeah, of the Texas Chainsaws I've seen, they've never really shown him like cutting the face, like
most of the time just like
Skinning them.
peeling the last of
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Just
it's
doing
always like
last
the
part,
after
yeah.
shot of him being like, I have a face.
Yeah, I thought he was like sawing her head off or something, but then I was like, oh yeah, duh, he's cutting
Then
her
the
face off.
classic pose into the sun with it.
Yeah, hold up the piece of
Yeah.
face skin into the
dangly
light.
skin.
He did that a lot with his chainsaw too, the like posing for the camera.
Well, yeah,
Like,
well, that's Leatherface's thing. He's
Yeah,
always like
gotta-
dancing around and he's shimmy shaking all around.
So what I think some of the other films did better was in this one when they first visit the mom,
Mm-hmm.
he like checks on her. Like that's the only time you like establish he cares about that person.
Right.
And so when I completely lost my train of thought.
what with the mom?
Michael Pelton, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
What? Just that he was like so.
Well,
Like,
Are
he
you saying
cared
like
about
they
her so
kind of
much.
made
so
him like
in
a
the
character? or-
in the other films, like you see him like sneaking into his mom's room, and she's like, "You got to stay out of my room." And this one, she
Right.
told him to stay out, and
Yeah.
then nothing ever happened.
Well, he
She
got the
didn't say anything
chainsaw.
else.
But
I don't
like,
know.
is that what she was hiding from him?
Yeah, well, I think that's why she didn't want him to go in there because she knew about
What would happen?
Yeah.
If he got the chainsaw in his hands, he would just want to fucking.
At the
rip
same
and
time,
tear.
it also didn't show him
and tear.
caring as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in some of the other films, like he sews
Yeah,
the
he,
face
he like
on
sews
to
it
his
to
own
his
skin.
face.
Huh.
And this one, he just like
He just plopped
holds
it on
up,
there.
puts it on,
And it stays.
and that's it.
Like, how does it not just like slide?
Slide.
off?
Well, I mean, it was sliding down.
He's got some super glue on there.
Yeah.
He's just got it
It's
stuck.
like
stick on,
I think he
stapled
like
it.
took part of it and like tucked it behind his ears, like he made a little slit and
He
just,
made
like,
an N95 mask.
tucked
Yeah.
it
It's
over his
COVID
ear.
protocol. He's
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, we're all making our own face masks at home now.
But
6 feet, motherfucker.
I just thought that was funny that, he just, there wasn't a whole lot in between. Like, because normally they make a much bigger deal about him making a mask. Like, instead of just cutting it off on the side of the road, like he's in the basement and he's got his tools.
He's
and
like crafting it.
He's like making something.
Right.
Two
Jeez.
And this one
woods
just
and
kind of
one
like
stone make
pulls
a
it
face.
off and
Yeah.
slaps it
and
on.
then he has this weird thing where he like goes back to his house and starts putting makeup on.
Well, he wants.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No,
but before
look
that,
Yeah, because he kills the
yeah. So
one of the
blonde
group of kids who is settling in this town goes off with the old lady because they're like, well, one of us needs to go with the murder victim and make sure we're
Right.
not liable.
she was in the passenger seat when the van crashed.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's like trying to sneak around, and the cop who was shot, who was driving, he starts like coughing and like blood. And
Yeah,
all
okay,
that.
so that's the first time that somebody comes back to life when they really shouldn't have. This guy
Yeah,
got shot and
like,
he was like,
through the neck,
and he was, like,
gushing.
dead.
He was done. He was
Yeah.
done. They killed
and then
him
he
in
just
space.
came back to life for a few seconds just to be like,
Just to ruin it.
I might be alive,
Yeah,
and then he
so
died.
she's like begging with him, like, stop moving, you're gonna fuck this up. Like,
Yeah.
Leatherface is out there.
and then Leatherface is like, huh, what was that?
Yeah, so he's
What's going
like
on?
peeking in and he's like, hey, buddy, You having trouble breathing? Here's some oxygen for you. And he starts beating
Bashing
him in
his
the head.
Mashed him with
The old lady's oxygen tank.
Yeah.
As she plays dead very well.
No.
No, she was-
He totally saw her move. There's no
doesn't
way he
care.
saw her move.
Yeah, well, that's why he was waiting on the other side of the van.
Yeah.
For her to look back and be like, "Oh my God, that's Leatherface."
Yeah, so it's like she's trying to like sneak out of the van, and she gets like that. Apparently, everybody has like a sixth sense where they know somebody's behind them.
Yeah, and they go,
And
and
they're
then it's like,
hold on, I'm gonna dramatically turn to my back. Holy fuck!
"He's behind me. Who would have thought?"
Yeah, but dude, she gets it bad. Like what was it? Like a piece of broken glass or something that he?
I thought
that
it was
he
a
gets
knife,
her
but
with?
yeah, it could have been a. piece of broken
He sticks her in the middle and then
and slices
moves
her.
northeast and
Yeah.
slices her.
Wait,
He stabs and slices
I didn't
her.
see a compass. How did you know that was
He
northeast?
just-
Up into the right, like he just hits her in the center of the gut and just up towards the rib
Yeah,
cage.
no. Oh
Yeah.
my
Right
God.
out the side.
Dude, I can just imagine that. Oh, that does
Yeah.
not feel good.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, and then so there's this other character. What is her name from the original movie? Or one of the original
Hardesty is her last name. I think it's Allison. I don't know. I'm not up to date with my Texas Chainsaw characters.
I don't know.
cares about
She's
the
from
name?
the first movie, and I just call her Southern Laurie Strode because it's basically Laurie Strode
Yeah,
from the new Halloween movies.
dude. It again, like that's why I'm starting to think I didn't like this movie. It was basically like take the 2018 Halloween and put Leatherface in it, and that's what they tried to do.
Yeah.
They cut the runtime down. They tried to make the original character, you know, like the lead, like, oh, she's gonna finally get her revenge after all these years. But it's like we already saw that with Laurie Strode, and they did it better with Laurie
they
Strode.
did it so much worse in this movie.
They introduced her like way late in the film too, so it's like at that point it's like if,
You don't even
if
care
you're
about her.
introducing someone, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Yeah.
introduce someone halfway into a horror film and then survive.
Like
for the-
especially if they're trying to
That
play it
doesn't
off
happen.
like she's the main go at it.
right.
Yeah.
Which was weird that she clearly wasn't
Right.
Right.
the main story, so like they could have just done something cooler with the story they were already doing.
Right. Like she didn't need to be in it at all, honestly.
Yeah, no, like I don't think this needed any callbacks to the original one.
No, and as fans of these kinds of movies, we don't need it to
Yeah, I
go
don't need
along with
like,
another
Yeah.
film. Like
I don't
you
give
can
a
just
fuck.
make another one, and we'll just be like, this one was cool
okay.
too.
If they did it
Like,
in
you
like
don't
a
have
subtle
to.
way, like if you know the franchise, like you would know that this character is supposed to be this. But you know the way that they're just kind of like shoving it in your face. Like the minute she's introduced, she's like pulling down her visor, and it's the picture literally from the first movie.
Right.
Like
And the very first part of the movie shows like a flashback.
Yeah, it's literally a flash.
It's a documentary about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and like they're like, she's still alive, but she won't talk about what happened. It's like, okay, well, of course she's gonna be in it later. Like,
yeah, they're really putting like a lot of emphasis on this original character
that no one cares
that
about.
doesn't amount to anything
And
by
it's
the
weird
time
that
she gets into action.
She said, "I've been waiting for 50 years." It's like, well, why didn't you get there at the start then?
Yeah.
Laurie Strode was waiting for 40 years, and she ended up stabbing Michael, shooting Michael, hitting him with a cast iron
fuck
pan.
Michael, am I right?
Like,
Right.
like if you're gonna do that, like at least make her a viable character, or like have her do something
didn't care.
throughout the movie.
We just didn't care at all.
Yeah,
Like, I just don't care. Like,
there was no setup for her character.
it's been 55 minutes. I don't care about this lady.
Yeah, no, there's literally like 20 minutes left of the movie. Why do I care about this lady who was like barely mentioned throughout the rest of the film?
Ugh, but she's obviously gonna die.
Can't she die?
Yeah, so what happens after the lady dies in the van?
so,
I kind of like zoned out here for a minute.
They go back to the town, and the curly hair like main girl, she's like
the lady I want
freaking
to
out.
die.
She's freaking out because she got a text from her blonde friend, and is like, "Oh my god, that old lady died. I feel so bad."
Oh, right. And this is where Derek's like, we didn't kill her. Heart disease killed her.
Yeah, yeah. But then I don't know how, but the main black guy, Derek.
Yeah.
He somehow is he in the house that Leatherface comes out?
Yeah, so again, this goes back to that stupid deed plot.
Yeah.
They're looking for the
tell us
deed
about it.
In the house.
They're looking for the deed in the house, and you said Derek.
Yeah, Derek.
Derek's downstairs looking for it,
and I think it's Mel.
She's she's upstairs looking for it.
Right.
But he's downstairs first,
mm-hmm.
and just cuts Derek's face.
Yeah, like
with a cleaver.
With a cleaver. We were all disappointed.
Okay, well, so when they show you the kill, they don't really show you what happened. So I was like, oh, this is a lame kill. They're behind a door, and it's like swinging back and forth.
It's a swinging door, so when it swings open and closed, you can get a glimpse of what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he backs up to it and then falls down and starts bleeding.
And I thought he got slashed in the neck because he's just gushing.
So we all think he's dead.
Yeah, there was a gallon.
Oh,
if not
there
2
was
gallons of blood.
And he was
dead.
choking on it. Like, that's why I thought he got slashed in the neck, because he was like gargling his own blood.
Again? One more time for prosperity?
No. That's all I'm giving.
Come on.
But yeah, so I thought that was going to be the lamest kill, so I was like, worst kill so far in my notes. And then they just cut away from him for a little bit.
They didn't show him for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, because then it follows Mel around the top floor of the house? Like, she starts hiding, right?
Yeah, she hears what happens downstairs, and I don't think she sees Leatherface, but she like
no. Yeah, she does. So she goes around on the top of the stairs.
She comes down to the top of the stairs.
And is like, oh fuck.
And then sees him. She's like, oh crap.
And she's upstairs, so she can't run down the stairs to get out of the house. So she just goes up in the bedroom and hides in the closet.
Yes, and because we haven't already figured out that closets are a terrible place to hide.
Leatherface needs a new shirt. Yeah. So he's digging around the closet.
Yeah, and he's like, where's my favorite shirt? Oh, that's when he goes and finds, I don't know if it's like his mom's dress or shirt or something.
Yeah, she's like,
and he starts putting makeup on.
He's like trying on her bras. He's like having a good time with it.
Oh, yeah.
Really embodies.
It's like a nice, like, you know, when they get the ugly girl and they're like trying to get her ready for prom in like every 80s movie, and she's coming out in different outfits. That's Leatherface right now.
Yeah. So somehow she doesn't get killed in the closet. He goes back downstairs. She's trying to get the attention from people outside, like banging on the windows. And then Leatherface comes back up, so she's under the bed.
Oh, yeah. So she hides under the bed. He comes into the room with like a sledgehammer thing, and he just starts wailing on the wall. And we're like when I'm watching, I'm like, why the hell is he beating at this wall? Like, what the hell could honestly be behind it? And of course, it's his chainsaw from apparently 40 years ago that his mom somehow stashed inside of the wall, laid brick, laid drywall, did the whole thing just to hide this chainsaw from her deranged son.
And he knew exactly where it was.
Yeah.
But, all right, now, I'm no mechanical genius. I've never held a chainsaw in my life. But I'm pretty sure if it's sitting in a wall for 40 years, this chainsaw is not starting. Like, you're going to need gas. You got to re-oil this thing. I don't freaking know how it works.
Yeah, you'd have to put everything in it, and then it probably still wouldn't start.
It'd probably be, like, rusty.
Oh, it would be gross.
Oh, my God. Like, there's no way this chainsaw is in perfect operating condition.
If there's any moisture in the wall, like, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. But nonetheless, fires right up.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
He's off to the races.
He's ready to slash some bitches.
And then when the movie almost ends, he starts using a chainsaw.
Yeah. Like, dude, I swear this is probably maybe 45 minutes into the movie. He finally gets his chainsaw, and we have maybe 30 minutes left of the movie.
All right. So when we said earlier it took 40 minutes to set up the beginning, I don't think it actually did. I think we were exaggerating a little.
Yeah.
Probably more like halfway through the movie at this point, honestly.
Yeah, but so he gets his chainsaw. We didn't mention earlier that there's a mechanic still living in the town, and he's like one of the first characters they meet. He's kind of like, they're kind of dicks to each other.
Yeah,
as curly hair lady is like, oh my God, he's got a small dick because he carries a gun.
Well, we call him Mechanic Guy. I thought he like helped them get the deeds to the town or something?
So, yeah.
Is he more of like a landlord than
Yeah, they kind of just barely mention it. Like, Derek, when they first meet, they're like, oh, we talked on the phone, and they shake hands.
He's the contractor that's giving the place a facelift.
Okay.
All right. So he's not really a mechanic. He's a contractor.
Well, he can do it.
He can do it all.
But yeah, so he keeps, like, appearing to the characters, like, periodically throughout, and there's a lot of, like, you know, tension between them. So he, you know, we think Derek was dead, but he gets up and he starts walking. He gets out of the house and he runs into this mechanic character.
And I will say, that's when they reveal the face slash on Derek.
Yeah.
And they didn't show it earlier, and I was disappointed, but then it was like a reveal that when he comes out of the house, you see his back, and the contractor guy comes up and is like, dude, are you okay? He turns around and his face is cut, like, from his mouth, like, up through his cheek, like, all the way to his ear, and it's just, like, skin falling over, like,
just imagine the Joker from The Dark Knight, but if he got a little too happy with the razor blade.
And I will say the special effects makeup was, like, really good in this movie. I thought it looked
very CGI to me.
I thought they did, like, practical. I mean, they probably did practical and, like, maybe touched up with CG, but, like, it was definitely some practical makeup for sure. But yeah, you want to talk about his kill? The contractor guy?
Well, yeah. So he starts exploring the house, and he's going around with his gun because, you know, his small dick is leading him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to follow his compass. So he gets upstairs, and actually, like, this is the one time I actually was rooting for that Mel character, because he walks into the room, and she's still hiding under the bed, but she manages to get her foot out and kind of, like, scooch the mirror so this guy can see that Leatherface went and ran and, like, hid behind the door.
Yeah.
So, like, she tried to help him, but, like, you could have did a little more than that.
And it just delays the inevitable too.
Right.
Like, he puts up a good fight, gets a couple licks in for himself.
Yeah, like,
but then
he
eventually
definitely holds his own for a second there.
Yeah.
You know, his own aggression is his downfall, though, because he shoves Leatherface into, breaks the window, and then Leatherface slams his neck onto a piece of the broken
he
window.
Gets him right in that.
That wasn't the first. So the first thing is Leatherface kicks this guy's leg in from the knee.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah, he bends it
backwards.
But, dude, this guy still goes after Leatherface.
Yeah, and that's when he
still
pushes him into the window. So this guy gets his leg broken, his neck stabbed with the glass from the window, and then Leatherface comes back with a hammer and just starts beating his face into the ground, like, brutally. Like, and they show, like, I don't know if it's just, like, a really good fake head or something that they're just smashing with a hammer for real.
I'm pretty sure it's just a watermelon that they painted a face on.
Yeah.
They CGI'd a face on.
Yeah, but they just smush his head like a cantaloupe.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, like, the kills were brutal, but I fucking hate this movie. God, what happens after that, Michael?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I have no idea.
So, curly hair girl, Mel, gets out barely.
Oh no!
That's
so
when
she.
when
when
she's
he
sneaking
dies, out of the house.
She gets the keys.
Yeah. Oh, because the contractor guy took the keys to the bus that everybody was on because of something with Derek. He's like,
it's
you find the deed. Yeah,
it's the
deed.
whole fucking deed plot.
He's like, you
Get
find the
rid
deed.
of the deed plot.
I'll give you the keys back. And so the whole time they're like, oh, we gotta get the keys back.
He's like, I heard you killed that old lady. The only way to make you feel sorry about it is to take the keys to your bus.
Well, he wanted to make sure that they didn't kick her out of her own house.
Yeah.
And end up killing her for it.
Yeah, that's true. But Michael, heart disease killed her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Listeners at home, get yourself checked for heart disease. It's the silent killer.
Silent killer.
The silent killer.
So Mel.
Yeah, so she's trying to get out of the house. She's, like, sneaking around. She's actually kind of smart. Like, and I kind of thought she was supposed to be the final girl. Like, we're following her through most of this movie.
Yeah, the
and
survivor.
I was hoping she wasn't the final girl. I wanted her dead.
Yeah, Steve
Right.
from the beginning is like, oh, I hope she dies the most. That was the first thing he
Of
said
all the
about
people
her.
who die, she should have died the most. But, like, so she's climbing over, like, the stairwell railing to, like, kind of, like, sneak around because she kind of hears that Leatherface is in a room and she doesn't want to, like, walk past it. So she's going down the stairs, and by the time she gets to the bottom of the stairs, she turns around and looks up, and Leatherface is there with his sledgehammer.
Oh, well, the cool thing she does, she's trying to walk down the railing so the stairs don't squeak, and then she, like, so gracefully just, like, jumps down on the steps, like, really lightly, and she's like, I think I'm good. And then she looks up, and Leatherface is right there at the top of the steps.
Michael had a good line for this. What does he do?
What?
When he's at the top of the stairs, he, like, hits her with a hammer or something. You said something.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
was, like, dying.
He just Mjolnirs her in the sternum because it sends her through the floor into the dirt underneath the house.
Leatherface channels the power of Thor and fucking knocks this girl off her
throws a
ass.
hammer literally at her sternum.
Yep, hits her square in the chest and it puts her through the floor.
Like,
the
how did
floor.
it not go through her before she went through the floor?
And she was conscious afterwards.
Yeah.
There's no
No
way.
scratches.
Nah, you got like 8 broken ribs.
Yeah,
You're not
you wouldn't
gonna
be able to,
wanna
like,
be conscious.
you have a collapsed
You,
lung.
you
like-
wouldn't be able to breathe. The wind would have been knocked out of you
Yeah.
just from
At
going
least a
through the
month.
floor and hitting solid ground.
And the hammer to the chest.
Like, you're...
What?
Like, she's landing
She
and going
makes
like...
it. She
She's
makes
fine.
it. She's fine.
This is the first time of many that she gets fucked up that you're like, you shouldn't have walked that off.
And the
so
classic.
Yeah,
Here
so
comes,
he's
don't
chainsawing
dodge
her
the
through the floor.
chainsaw.
Yeah,
Dodge
yeah.
the chainsaw.
Now, this is a gripe I've had ever since I saw Prometheus. Everybody runs in a straight line
Yeah.
away from the thing that's moving in a straight line. Like,
Yeah.
move to the left, to the right. Like, they... I don't know if you guys seen Prometheus. It's like one of the Alien prequels. But a ship is crashing, and it's rolling, literally in a straight line. And these characters just trying to outrun a giant, like, 50-foot spaceship before
just run
it
to the
crushes
side.
them. Like, I don't understand why writers keep putting this in the movie. Like, if you want smart characters, let them move to the side.
Yeah, let the killer come to them still.
But the straight line worked, and she was able to get out,
Yeah.
but not before the sewer pipe
Oh
broke
my God.
underneath that old disgusting house
Yeah, because
and
as he's...
dumped crap all over before.
Yeah, he, like, cuts the pipe in half with the
Yeah.
chainsaw.
Oh my God, she gets covered
it
in...
was gross.
God only knows how
and
old
Ben
that poop
gets
is.
out.
Yeah.
And like Steve said, well, at least it's raining. Or
I
maybe-
think I said
maybe
that.
you
At least
said-
it's raining.
at
It'll
least
rinse
it's
it off a
raining.
little.
You can get rinsed off a little bit.
So she's trying to get it showered off real quick
Yeah.
from all the poop that's now on
Wait,
her.
can I just say one thing about that scene, though? Another thing that's like Halloween. Halloween did that. Remember when Michael is walking around on top of the house and Laurie's trying to get him from underneath with a gun? Kind of a different concept, but
Yeah.
a similar scene.
It's like instead of...
It's totally different, but it's the same.
Well, no. She's kind of got a point because...
like looking through the floorboards sort of moment?
Instead of Michael being the one to attack through the floorboards, they just switched it out with Leatherface. Like, Laurie in that situation was the aggressor. In this situation, Leatherface was the aggressor.
Oh, but I mean,
so they just kind of just switched the dynamics
yeah,
of
but
that scene.
they've had people underneath floorboards.
Yeah, but I'm
before
just
this
saying,
a lot,
like,
so that's
another
not-
thing that they kind of maybe stole from Halloween. I don't know.
Nah, there's too many other movies that have
I
that
know,
same
but I'm just
concept.
saying, I would compare it to that movie because it definitely feels like they tried to do that, but with their franchise.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But anyway,
But
so
yeah,
she
so
runs
they're-
out of the house.
Yeah, they're running out of the house. They're getting all showered off before they get back onto this bus where all these influencers or whatever they are who's buying all the houses in this town are now hiding.
They want to
Yeah, I
be
thought there were
members
just
of the
people.
cult. They
Yeah,
want to be
all
in
right.
the
So
cult.
Yeah,
Heaven's Gate is now meeting on this bus, and the two sisters go running onto the bus, and they're like, "Close the damn door! Like, we gotta get the hell out of here!"
Mm-hmm.
And as they're pulling out of the town, you see Leatherface just standing in like an archway, And as soon as you see him, Michael's like, he's gonna get the tires, isn't he? And of course he gets the freaking tires because the bus starts screeching out.
Yeah.
Flat tires.
Yeah, so
stop the bus. Somebody gets off.
Of course.
Because somebody's got to check the tires.
Yeah, you got to send the driver out to go check the tires because he's the only one who knows how to change a bus tire.
Well, he did it willingly. He ran out the door like, I'm going to go
ready
fix
to
this.
Go.
Like, I am a man. I will fix this.
But I just love that you hear in the background, like, the chainsaw go...
Yeah, and you're like, well, he's dead.
It's like, well, there's only one way that could end. And then, of course... you see his head come flying in through the bus doors.
Right.
It's great. Oh, it's great. And then Leatherface gets on the bus and like, hey, can I join your party?
It's like, hey guys.
He does not ask for permission.
Yeah, he just shows up.
He starts partying.
Any port in the storm, I'm coming on.
And then the best quote of the whole movie, when everyone's holding up their phones and they're all like live streaming on Twitter.
Yeah, I guess they're all like streaming their deaths for fans.
Right.
And he goes, dude, do anything and you're gonna get canceled. It's like he fucking cares.
No, but nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody would say that in a situation when a guy covered in blood walks onto your bus with a chainsaw.
He's like, dude, you're about to get canceled.
Like, do you think that's like that's not a realistic reaction?
The whole movie's not realistic.
Like,
so
well, they're trying to be relatable.
They're just trying to be
2022.
funny and poke a little bit, but yeah, and then he sticks him.
Oh yeah, like he just massacres.
He doesn't care.
Everybody on this bus.
And also, our two main girls, the sisters, are on the bus, but they're like in the back of the bus right now. And then it's just a bunch of like throwaway characters. So I'm like, all right, a bunch of people are about to die.
They make their way to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And lock themselves in. Oh. And then the lady from the bank that made this all happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She tries to climb out a window and gets cut in half.
No, my favorite, he lifts that kid up and gets the chainsaw through him and like pins him to the ceiling of the bus.
Ceiling of the bus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is where I counted about 12 people died, and these are all kind of like the side characters.
Yeah, like we don't know really any of their names except for the banker lady, but I kind of forget.
Yeah, she wasn't
who she is. Deal anyway. Also, she looks about 14, and apparently she's this big bank exec that helped these guys sell this town.
I mean, she at least looks my age.
She's like ready for big business, right?
Yeah, like the younger sister girl definitely looked like a middle schooler.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's so hard to tell.
Yeah, but she also could have been like 23.
Yeah, any one of them could have been in their 20s. They also could have been like 13. But who knows? So yeah, he's massacring everybody on this bus. The two girls get out because they go and hide in the bathroom, and they get out through like the skylight in the bathroom because every bus needs a skylight in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. Like, most buses, don't they have like that back door that you can get out of, like an emergency exit?
Well, I think people were trying to get out of the emergency door, but for some reason it wouldn't open because everybody was like crowding back. And then that's when they went to the bathroom because they're like, well, this isn't how we're going to get out of here.
I think it wasn't one of those party buses, so there was like a room back there or something.
Yeah.
Oh, was it kind of like one of those coach buses where it's not, it's like closed off in the back? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So.
But yeah, then they bring back what's her name from the original movie? The OG
Hardesty.
girl.
She's now a sheriff in the Texas town.
Yeah. I made a note here because she comes back to like come kill Leatherface. And it's kind of like what you said. It's like, why wasn't she there the whole time? What the fuck's she waiting for? But I just said that they never built up to her character. Like, why does she? I get she was in the original movie and everything, but like at least with Laurie Strode, not to talk about Halloween again, but at least they show like where she is now. They catch up with her a little, and you're like, okay, I can kind of see where she's at.
Actress playing Laurie Strode, like this lady isn't the same actress.
Yeah,
from the original, like because she died. I don't know when, but she's passed on. But like, you're trying to make us relate. Or like kind of like put like a I don't know, like a marker from the original into this new one to like kind of have us follow along and be like,
Right.
oh, we know this character,
Right, but
it's
we
like
don't.
we don't. It's a different lady playing it. Not that that's like their fault or anything, but
Right.
you really could have left this lady out, especially seeing what happens to her.
Yeah, I that's like part of a story that either needs to be the story or not be in the story at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can make, like, several movies have done that. You can make a story out of the revenge of someone that survived. Like, you can do it, but not, like, try to squeeze it in.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, she shows up like out of the blue to, I guess, save the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the two main girls get into the back of her car and she's like, it's him, isn't it? As they're like freaking out.
Right. She's like, I'm gonna shoot this
like,
motherfucker.
She's like, it's him, isn't it? It's Leatherface.
Yeah.
Because
like
apparently they already named him Leatherface. Like, I didn't think that was... I thought that's just what people, like fans called him.
Right.
I didn't think they actually called him Leatherface in the movies.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like... all the girls are freaking out and they're like, you gotta like drive, we gotta get out of here. And she's like, nah, he's after you, I'm gonna use you as bait, stay here until I kill him.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucker. I don't know what she said exactly, but she said motherfucker like that.
Yeah. And she's walking through the town, she sees a light go on. I guess it's back in the mom's house, Leatherface's mom's house.
She goes up and then doesn't shoot it.
Yeah, she's standing in front of him with the shotgun. He's not attacking her. He's barely moving. Like,
which is just weird that she needed bait if she's gonna go hunt him instead of bait him, and then she doesn't kill him.
And she
when
tries
she finds
to talk
him without
to him.
the bait.
Yeah, she's like, this is another like Halloween
she
callback.
needed-
She's trying to get him to talk.
Yeah.
Like they the whole freaking 2018 Halloween, they're trying to be like, Michael, say something.
Yeah.
Say something,
Right.
Michael.
It's
they
important
don't need to
for
say
them to
anything.
No, he just kills people.
Yeah, and
Leave
she's
him
like,
alone.
don't you remember me? You killed my
Yeah,
friends.
it's like some self-validation to make sure it's worth it.
Yeah, and she's
like,
reading off the names. She's like, Billy, Timmy, Carl,
And he's
Franklin,
like, I don't
Jesse.
fucking know your friends. I was just murdering everyone in my sight.
Right.
Like, it's just
So
one of those. Yeah,
she
go
gets
for it.
fucked up.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So she shoots her. What?
Well, no,
shot-
wait, hold on. Sorry, before we do that, we should just say she's saying all this stuff. She's like, say my name, like say you remember me, and he just ghosts her.
Yeah,
Just
walks
Walks right
right
away.
out the door.
Yeah, and then all right, go for
And
it.
then she follows him and is like, "Hey, now you hurt my feelings again.
Yeah,
Now I'm gonna do something about it."
yeah, because he's going after the two girls in the car,
And
she comes out like laughing, and she's like, "Remember me now,
right,
Leatherface?"
like she changes into a witch on the way down the stairs,
She's literally
and then goes
cackling.
off for like 4 seconds. Then she gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made a note about how she was scary all of a sudden. Like, the whole time she was just like, I'm gonna kill this bitch. And then she was like, who the fuck you think you're messing with now? Like, coming out of the house. I'm like, ah.
You talk to me when I'm asking you questions. You Leatherface.
Oh my god.
She got real pissed off.
But she blaps Leatherface with a
Yeah,
shotgun, and it's just like a fucking flesh wound.
Yeah, he runs off like it's nothing. He just took a
Right.
shotgun to the shoulder.
He's like, yeah, I'm fine.
And he's like hiding in this alley with all these like garbage bags, and you kind of hear him like starting up the chainsaw, and then you hear his footsteps come running out of this like dark alley, and she shoots the chainsaw.
Yeah, she hits
From what
like
I
the
saw?
chainsaw blade, and then one like clips him,
Yeah.
and then he still is.
Yeah,
is
he
right
gets
there.
her through the stomach.
So she's not really a big help
Yeah.
at all.
So again, like you're building up this whole thing with this old original character just to kill her off and not
Immediately.
have her do anything.
There was no back and forth. Like, it was
And,
just
like,
like,
Well,
dead.
and then they just put her to sleep until they need her again later on.
Like
That
there's
was
no way she survives.
That was the third time they did that, where they assume like that the killer, got this guy or this girl,
Right.
and
'Cause he's
then
got
comes
her-
back to life suddenly.
Like, he's got her up in the air, suspended from his chainsaw, in her stomach, and, like, this blood is just coming down. Like, parts of her body are coming down. Like,
throws her on the ground.
like just throws her into the trash. It's like
Yeah, he
they're
tosses her across the street
Yeah.
onto the garbage
Yeah,
pile.
and you're like, well, she's definitely dead. And then, of course, like, you know,
Later
5
on,
minutes later, she comes back.
Yeah.
The little sister needs, is back, running away from him.
Yeah,
runs
they
past
end
her.
up getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Because they were in the back of like a police car or something where they couldn't unlock the doors in the back, and there was like they couldn't get through the front because there was like
it's like the gated back seat.
right.
Well, and that was when they crashed the car, and
Yeah, 'cause they try and hit him.
the older sister has that thing through her leg. So
Oh
she
yeah, I
couldn't get
forgot
out.
about that.
So like the little sister's running away from Leatherface, and then the lady's somehow alive.
Yeah,
and
after
has
losing
a
7 gallons of
yeah,
blood.
yeah, she's been bleeding for 20 minutes now, and she gives her the girl the shotgun, which is the second time.
At least she
She's had a
loaded
gun.
it for this
Yeah.
girl because this
First time it wasn't loaded,
yeah.
and so the second time it was loaded, and
Yeah,
she
but-
gets a couple good shots on him.
Well, two.
The
'cause
fact
there's
that
only two.
that's all the bullets she
Yeah.
had.
The fact that this lady has enough life left in her to, one, shoot Leatherface twice while in the pile of garbage bleeding out, and she has enough strength to hold up the shotgun and deal with the
Right.
recoil. But 2, she has a full conversation with this girl, like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't run from him. He'll haunt you forever.
It's like,
Blow
lady,
his brains out.
you're cut in half right now. Like, there's
Yeah.
no
Like,
way you're alive.
there's
Well,
nothing
the basics
left of your
gun
spine.
safety is important.
Yeah.
Now make sure you pull the trigger when you're pointing it at the person you want dead.
Yeah, so then, we're in our final chase, and we finally are following, I guess, our final girl for this movie. So she follows Leatherface into, it looks like a theater or something. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea. All I know is there's a swimming pool in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, it's just a hole in the floor and
I thought
water
it was just a
underneath it.
building. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
like a little lake.
So
Nice.
she's
Pond.
like searching around this thing with a shotgun pointed at the floor for some reason. Why you wouldn't have that in front of you, like ready to go at all times?
Yeah, the whole time I was yelling at her. I'm like, put the gun where you're looking. What are you doing?
Oh my god! But this is the part that drove me insane because he sets up a booby trap. There's a full-on mannequin in this theater or wherever they're at, and he lays the chainsaw at its feet and starts it. So she thinks he's over there, but I'm like, that's not Leatherface.
Yeah.
Like he's not like
When
the
she
the
stood
planning out
just in the right
methodical
spot
killer.
to get whacked. Then
Yeah. And he comes running in and tackles her into the swimming pool.
right.
Yeah.
And she somehow gets away from him.
Well, he sinks much faster. That's just Leatherface physics. So
Yeah, they both dive
he
in.
had further up to swim than she did.
No, but
she gets out
he comes flying
And then-
out of that thing like a dolphin, dude. Like, come on.
like a beluga whale
emerges.
breaching.
Yeah, like it's like they put something underneath him and rocketed him.
Well, that's
Yeah.
100% what they did.
Yeah, it
but
was like the floor
like
lifted up.
unless this guy is like Michael Phelps and he's swimming up like at 50 miles an hour and blasting himself through this.
I bet you it was like, 2.5, 3 feet of water that they just like lay down in and then just stand up real quick.
But like,
Well, and he's
Jesus.
got all those clothes, those heavy boots, wearing a mask underwater, and also he's got that big leather, apron, that big leather, like all that'd be heavy. So
But yeah,
that's why
it
he
just-
took longer.
It literally just seems like they're turning him into Jason.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
just a normal guy. He's been shot at least 5 times at this
Yeah.
point. He's been drowned.
And he'd get hurt in other films, but it would be
Yeah.
like a cleaver to the arm or like
And,
a
like,
hook
they would
to the side or something.
like they would purposely show you him reacting to that. Like
Like,
in
fuck, that hurt.
the Platinum Dunes one, whenever that came out, he cuts himself in like the thigh and like it literally stops him for a minute because like they have to show him like reacting to
Right.
the pain. Because he's just a normal human. He's not like Jason, like a walking corpse, or like Michael Myers, who's apparently the personification of just the devil.
Right.
Like, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me how he's basically become this like invincible killer throughout this movie.
Because that's what every slasher killer has to be now, is some
Yeah.
indestructible monster that just keeps coming back.
And like, you know, they kind of did that in Halloween Kills, where, you know, Michael's this indestructible killer. He's being beaten, he's being shot, he's being stabbed.
But he's Michael Myers.
But, yeah,
come on.
at least they set up that lore that he's like this unstoppable force.
And this,
you
he was
can't kill
just
Michael.
the weird family with a lot of land had this, the one slow kid gets a little mad sometimes.
It's right, he's not an insane.
Yeah,
we eat people every now and then. It's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so they think they're okay. You know, both sisters are in there.
They climb into the electric vehicle.
They get in their freaking Tesla and they're like, starting autopilot, and they put it on. And they put down the sunroof. They roll all their windows down. Doors are unlocked. They don't even have seatbelts on. They're just like living their best life.
Yeah, and they're talking like, they're like, oh man, we gotta get out of this town. And the one sister's like, you know what? No, I changed my mind. Let's move here.
Right. Get some snarky humor at the end.
And this is where apparently Leatherface survived everything that he's been through. He pulls the curly-headed girl out of the car, and he's like holding her down with the chainsaw while the other girl's just standing through this sunroof, like screaming at her.
The car's in autopilot,
and it's
so
just going literally at 5 miles an hour. It is rolling down the road,
and he just chainsaws her head right off. And he's holding it, and he's like, "Hey, look it! I got your sister, you stupid!"
Right, and that was it.
Yeah, drive away in your stupid electric car. I got your sister.
Did we say, though, that Leatherface did get chopped with the chainsaw?
Oh, yeah. I forgot they kill him again.
Yeah, so they kill him, and I was like, he's not dead. But shot with a shotgun by the younger sister.
Yeah, the one sister shoots him. And then the other sister, after she runs out of ammo, they're doing this like, hey, let me step in front of you. No, wait, let me step in front of you.
Yeah, she comes in and she's like, now I have the chainsaw. Because she uses her 2 shots, shoots him, and she's like, oh no, I'm out of ammo. And the other sister's like, well, I got this fucking chainsaw, bitch.
Yeah, and uppercuts him with the chainsaw.
Yeah, like that's the worst way to chainsaw someone.
Yeah,
like I thought she was gonna go for the head, right?
Yeah, or like stab him, do something with it.
Yeah,
more
but
than
then
just uppercut him.
Then he falls into the water on his back and just like slowly floats into the water.
Yeah, this huge air bubble comes up. You can tell that's his like final fart.
He was done.
Emptying his bowels.
But yeah,
or so we think.
That's why I'm like, why are they making him Jason? Like, I would have been happy if that's how they ended it. Like, they killed him and the 2 sisters get away.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. Like,
no, we wanted the curly-headed one dead, and she got dead.
True.
Yeah, I mean,
we know they're not going to kill Leatherface because,
they got to do more sequels.
And by the rules of a slasher film, there can only be one survivor.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's the rules. Sorry.
I said
one of them's going to die.
Overall, I hated it.
Yeah, what would you give it?
I didn't like it. I thought some of it was cool, but overall, I was like, I would say bad. And
overall, I was entertained. It wasn't a good movie for the plot or the characters or the killer necessarily, but I laughed and I had a great time. I would not recommend it to everybody, but if you already like every other slasher, and you have like an hour to kill, I don't know, fuck it. It's on Netflix. It's free. Like, just watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've made myself pretty clear. I don't like this one.
Well, that's 1 out of 3.
2 out of 3. I didn't like it either.
No, I'm saying 1 out of 3 that liked it. 2 out of 3 that hated it.
The thing, I'll give it credit. Like, I think the kills were pretty good for what it was. I didn't like the characters. Like, I didn't care about the final girl. I didn't, there was nothing in it that kind of made it stand out other than it was a more gory Texas Chainsaw movie. Like, that's all it really was. And, they're trying to kind of play off the popularity of like these almost like reboot sequel type things.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I was just talking about that and how like everybody's gonna try to do this, and I'm like, just wait until we get a Friday the 13th freaking sequel.
Yeah, because I mean, Halloween did it. Then Leprechaun did it. Then Candyman did it. Now Texas Chainsaw's doing it.
Yeah,
like Scream did it. So it's getting to that point where like I love seeing, you know, the characters I like coming back from the originals. Like, it's awesome seeing Laurie Strode back in movies. It's nice seeing, you know, Sidney Prescott come back to, you know, the Scream franchise. But, you know, leave it as it was. Like, we don't... Not everybody needs to come back and be like, you know, the hunter of the killer that, like, traumatized them.
Right.
Like, let's do something different. Like, Halloween did it fine. I think, you know, they definitely explored all the possibilities. They like definitely expanded like the character of Laurie Strode, but
like there was still a character arc within that set of movies, whereas this one was like there's no arc to anything.
Yeah, like we don't care about the new characters. The old character that they brought back, we don't care about because who cares? Like, it's
nobody cares. They didn't give us time to care.
Right.
But
yeah, it was too quick.
I think we covered this a few times now.
Yeah.
Like we're just harping on the same points, but I'm like, I can't recommend it, but if you want to watch some good kills,
100% watch it because
it's fun and it's dumb.
The gore isn't in the setting anymore; it's in the kills. Like that's the major thing that changed. Was like you're not in the creepy house,
right,
with the body parts hanging up, so the kills were more gory, and cinematic with the rain and stuff. Like that.
I get why they did what they did. I feel like it's just another unnecessary reboot to an already dead franchise.
Yeah, but I had a fun time watching it.
There you go. That's all we needed.
It was fun. It was movies. Isn't that what movies
for an hour and 15 minutes, you know, I can't really complain that much. It didn't take up that much.
At least it wasn't 3 hours.
I still thought it was fucking dog shit.
But it was entertaining, right?
No.
You didn't like
at
any point
like it and not have to admit it was entertaining. I'm allowed to do that.
All right. So I think we got through this one pretty well.
Yeah, you know what we think.
But yeah, you know, if you got an hour and 15 minutes to kill and you're already a fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, give it a watch. You might enjoy it. Don't go off of our opinion alone. But anyway, from all of us at Every Film in the Book, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.